Namaste. Good afternoon, dear students of class 7. A very warm welcome to you all in distance learning classes of science. Hope everybody is having wonderful classes, wonderful day. So today let's get started. We had started the lesson measurement in previous days. This is day third day of the class, and it's measurement. Now we'll have a short review. First of all, what we did in previous classes, we learned about measurement, about different types of quantities. We learned fundamental quantities and all physical, non-physical, and types of physical quantities, fundamental, derived quantities. About it we learned, and also we learned about different types of systems, about SI unit or International System of Measurement. We learned about it. And then after we learned about measurement of length. In previous class, we learned about measurement of length, how to measure the length of an object accurately, what are the errors that could be faced, that could be seen while measuring the length. And we learned about how to convert the units of length from one unit to another. Now today we are going to study about measurement of mass and measurement of time. See, the topics that we are going to cover, it's related to measurement of mass. We'll solve some numericals as well, conversions as well related to measurement of mass, and also we'll be doing about measurement of time. Time, and we'll go slightly to measurement of area of different regular surfaces. Measurement of surface area of different regular objects. These are the topics that we are going to discuss today. So let's get started. First of all, mass, measurement of mass. So what is mass? If you have studied in previous classes, if you remember, let's recall what is mass. Yes, so mass is the amount of matter. Yes, this certain amount of matter contained in a body. All the objects are made up of atoms. They do have certain mass in them. Yeah, and they make up the mass of the object. So the materials, the amount of matter contained in our body is called mass. And we all know like three states of matter: solid, liquid, gas. About this you learned in previous classes. Like in solid, the molecules, the atoms are very closely packed. In liquid, it's slightly far from each other, and in gas, it's very far from each other. Those atoms, those molecules, they only make up the matter. Yes, which may be in different states. So the amount of matter contained in our body is called mass. Yes, then now let's have the slide view as well. So amount of matter contained in our body, we call it as mass, and it depends upon the number of atoms. Yes, and the mass of the atoms present in that body. That is called mass, and it's measured by beam balance. An instrument called beam balance is there for its measurement. Of course, it's also measured by different other balances like pan balance, physical balance, or weighing machines and all. You can just check the beam balance here. Mass is unknown body, unknown object is kept in one side, and in another side the standard weight is kept, and when it comes in the balanced position, the amount of mass is measured. In previous classes also we have already discussed about it, the measuring process. So that's a beam balance, and different mass units are given here. Now the SI unit of mass. In length also we discussed. The SI unit of length is meter. And we learned about submultiples of meter, and also we learned about the multiples of meter, and we learned how to convert among them, like centimeter to meter, meter to kilometer, or kilometer to millimeter. That we learned in our previous class. Today we have the ones related to mass. So in mass, what do you have now? See, as I've already said, the SI unit, the standard unit of mass is kilogram. Of course, we can measure mass in different other units as well, but the worldwide accepted one is kilogram. We can measure the lighter objects, like smaller amount, smaller quantity of matters. We can measure it in smaller units like gram, milligram, microgram, and we can measure it like if it's a heavier amount. Yes, the object is heavier, then such quantities can be measured in kilogram or ton or quintal, they are the multiples ones. Yes, they are the ones used for measuring heavier mass or heavier quantity of matter. Then next, what do we have? The standard relation. Like we did in length, now we are here in mass. The standard relation between the different units of mass. It's here. Let's have a short view. Like 1000 milligram. 1000 milligram is equals to 1 gram. This is the standard relation between two units, different units like milligram and gram. Yes, we can say that it's 1000 milligram, or we can also say the same as it's 1 gram. It's similar, same. Just like, okay, similarly, 1000 grams. It's 1000 grams, and 1000 gram is equals to 1 kilogram. Similarly, we have 100 kilograms is equals to 1 quintal, and 10 quintals is equals to 1 metric ton. Now, let's have few numericals practice. Let's practice few conversions here. Sorry. Let's have few conversion. Like I said, 1000 milligram is equals to 1 gram. Now, this is the standard relation. Now, if you have to convert from smaller unit to bigger unit, you recall the previous ones as well. What we did in conversion of length. Like, it's the smaller one, it's the bigger one. To convert from smaller unit to bigger, we have to divide it by the similar relation, standard relation by 1000. And if you have to convert from gram to milligram, then you have to multiply it by the same 1000. Yes, like similarly we have other relation. If it's 1000 gram, it's equals to 1 kg. Here also the same. If you have to change from gram to kilogram, you have to divide it by 1000, and if you have to change from kilogram to gram, you have to multiply it by 1000. Similarly, others we have 100 kg equals to 1 quintal. There also the same rule applies. Yeah. Now let's solve some numericals. You can just get the questions in the slide. Let's solve some numericals. Convert 5000 gram into kilogram. Let's convert as indicated, in from which to which you have to convert. You can just save these ones also. I will solve just 1 or 2 over here, and remaining you can practice on your own, okay, as your homeworks. Like, let me start question number 1 here. Question number 1. The question is, convert 5000 gram. You have to convert 5000 gram into kilogram. See, the question is convert 5000 gram into kilogram. So what's the standard relation between gram and kilogram? The standard relation between gram and kilogram is 1000 gram is equals to 1 kg. We can easily see, we know that 1000 gram is equal to 1 kg. Now we have to convert from smaller unit to bigger one. That's why we have to divide this. 5000, when it's divided by 1000, then it's converted into kilogram. So this is equals to 5 kg. So 5000 gram is equal to 5 kilogram. Yes. So either you say I need like 5000 gram rice, or you go and say I need 5 kg rice. It's actually same, but convenient one we say 5 kg. Yes. So give me 5 kilograms of rice, or so on we use the standard one. Similarly, we have another numerical, like you can just check, convert 7 kilogram into gram. Just 7 kilogram. Question number 2 is there, like 7 kilogram into gram. Now here what you have to do, kg into gram. Just kilogram you have to convert into gram. So what do we do? What do we do? Kilogram is the bigger unit, gram is the smaller unit. So first of all, know the standard relation. We know that like, see, the standard relation is 1000 gram equals to 1 kg, or we can also say 1 kg is equals to 1000 gram. It's similar. And if we convert, see, to convert this into this is bigger unit, this is smaller unit. So of course we have to multiply it by 1000, and when it's multiplied, it's converted into gram. 7000 gram. So 7 kg is equals to 7000 gram. So these remaining questions you can solve on your own. so that you can have certain practice and revision as well, checking in the slides. This is related to mass. Yes, related to mass. Now our next topic is measurement of time. Let's move to measurement of time. Time, we all know what is time. Yes, you might have learned simple definitions related to time in your previous classes as well. Yeah, let's recall here and know what is time. It's simply, see, just before our class started, maybe it was 12:25. Now it's 12:37. Yes, so the gap between any two. Previously, we were about to start the class. Now we have, in certain this period of time, we have finished a topic, measurement of mass. Yes, so that's the gap. The gap between two events. Let's say while starting the measurement of mass, now we are going to start measurement of time. So two events have occurred here. So the gap between those two events is only time. Yes, around 10, 15, 12 minutes you might have passed. So this is the gap between two events. So that is itself we call as time. The gap, the interval between any two events is called time. Like the sun rises in the morning and sets in the evening. The gap between the sunrise and the sunset, day. Yes, the time. The gap between two events. You can just check the gap between any two events. It is called time. And time, we all know its SI unit is second. Of course, we measure time in different other units like minute, hour, day, week, maybe decades, years, centuries. All those units are there. Also the smaller units like in millisecond, microsecond, nanosecond, picosecond. These all are there. These are different units of time, but the worldwide used for convenience, the standard unit, SI unit of time is second. And similarly, like the smaller units, as I've already said, if you have to measure very smaller time, yes, smaller gap between the events, that we measure in smaller units like millisecond and microsecond. And if you have to measure with the larger interval of time, then we move on to maybe hour, minute, day, week and all. So this is related to time. And one more now, conversion of time is also here. The relationship between different units of time. It's so simple and so easy. We have been using it in our daily life also. Yes, you can just check over here. 1 minute. It's not a big deal. Like we all know, 1 minute is equals to 60 seconds. Yes, and you can see 1 hour. Of course, it's 60 minutes. And you can check like 1 day, 24 hours. 1 week, it's 7 days. Yes, 1 month, 30 days or 31 days according to the months, or maybe like 1 year, 365 days. These are the different relations, yes, between different units of time. Now, let's also solve this as been indicated. Let's convert these few units of time. I'll solve few, others you can solve on your own. You can just save it, yeah, copy it so that you can have your own practice related to conversion of time, length, mass is also there. It's going to be very useful when you solve the numericals, because afterwards while solving different numericals you might be given in different units. The time may be, in one case time may be given in minute, in another case time may be given in second. So you have to bring the uniformity in them. In such case the conversion work comes. Yes, conversion, you need to learn it. That's why we are practicing it, making up a base. So convert as indicated. Number 1, 5 minutes into seconds. Okay, just before I said, we have already just checked the relation. We all know 1 minute is equals to 60 seconds, or 60 seconds equals to 1 minute. This is the smaller one, this is the bigger unit. Yes, we all know to convert from smaller to bigger, we have to divide, and to convert from bigger unit to smaller unit, we have to multiply. That we have already learned while doing about measurement of length and of course measurement of mass. Now here, other relations are also there. Like I just write in short, 1 hour equals to 60 minutes. And similarly, we do have more. Right now, I'm going to convert 5 minutes into seconds. Now, how do we convert 5 minutes into seconds then? Number 1. Number 1, convert 5 minutes into seconds. Now, first of all, know the standard relation. between minute and second. So we are going to convert the bigger unit into smaller one. So we know that actually 1 minute is equals to 60 seconds. It's very simple. We have been using it, taking it, learning it regularly, following it in our daily life as well. So if you have to convert 5 minutes into second, then of course this is a bigger unit, so we have to multiply by the common main relation. So 1 minute is 60 seconds, so we have to multiply here by 60, and then it's converted into seconds. 5 6 are 30. So 5 minutes. In 5 minutes, they are altogether 300 seconds. Yes, so it's same. Okay, I'll be back after 5 minutes. If you say, or I'll be back after 300 seconds. Yes, it's actually same. So, but in our regular life, to make our conversation easier, we use according to the situation. If it's 5 minutes, yes, we can say 5 minutes. Like while saying I'll be back after 300 seconds, it sounds a bit unusual. Yes, but for solving numericals and all worldwide, it's used as the second, which is the SI unit. Now we do have more over there. These other all you'll be working as your homework. One more I'd like to solve of question number 5. 1 solar day into seconds. Convert 1 solar day into seconds. Now, solar day means we all know a day. Yes, like a day, the rotation period of Earth. It takes 24 hours. The Earth takes 24 hours for having one complete rotation. And of course, for having one complete revolution around the sun, it takes 365 days that we call as 1 year. Yeah. Now we are going to convert 1 solar day into seconds. So here, question number 5. 1 solar day into seconds. So how do we convert it? See, first of all, like 1 solar day, it means what? It means 24 hours. 1 solar day is equals to 24 hours. So you have to convert 24 hours into seconds. Now to convert into 24 hours, first of all you should know hours should be converted into minute and then minute into second. Yes? So what do we do? 24 hours. We all know that 1 hour is equals to 60 minutes. Yes? If needed, 1 hour is equals to 60 minutes. We all know, and 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. Then, so convert first of all hour into minute. When you multiply it by 60, it's converted into minutes. Yes, 24 into 60. It's converted into minutes. Now again, when you multiply 24 into 60 into 60, then it's converted into seconds. So while multiplying it, how much do you get? So I'll just multiply it. 24 into 60 into 60. Yes, it's altogether 86,400 seconds. 86,400 seconds. See, 1 day consists of 86,400 seconds. Yeah. So this is how we can do the problems related to conversion. So I think remaining ones you can easily solve on your own, like 2 hours into seconds, you can easily do that. Now if you have to change from smaller units to bigger units, you have to divide it. It's very simple. Just follow the rule and you can practice this all. That's all related to measurement of time. Now we have another topic, measurement of area. Okay, so what do you have? See, area. What do you mean by area then? So to learn about area, first of all, let me just, like a duster is here. If I keep the duster over here on the surface of the board, see how much surface is being covered, how much space, surface is being covered by this duster. That is actually its area. Or you can also say, like if I take a paper, yeah, like this, when we keep like this, how much space is covered by it? See, how much space is covered by it? Yes, the surface, the total surface covered by a body. This we can call as the area. Yes, the surface area. We're learning about surface area. So before we move on to the calculations, little more I'd like to explain about area. So what is here is, here you can see the slides once. Area, the total surface covered by a body. It is called area, and its SI unit. See, its SI unit is square meter, or we can also say meter square. Yeah, meter square or square meter. Let me just write here, measurement of area. So area, we all know, like of different objects we can calculate the area. Yes, and SI unit is square meter. We can also denote it by meter square, and its units, of course, we can use various other units for measurement. It can be centimeter square, it can be measured in centimeter square, kilometer square, millimeter square, and so on. These are different units of measurement of area. Now different objects are here, you can see. See, when we move on to area, we are going to measure the area of different regular objects today. So first of all, let's have some concept about what are regular objects and what are irregular objects. You can just check in the slide. See, these all are the regular objects, the objects having a fixed geometrical shape. I have few regular objects in my hand as well. You can just check over here. See, these are the regular objects. These objects have a fixed length, yes, length, breadth, and height. See, these objects are called regular objects, like this, a cuboid, a cube, like this. You can just check here, like having a certain length, breadth, height. Yes, these objects are called regular objects. It can be anything like sphere, a cuboid, a cube, a rectangle, square, circle. These all have a fixed shape. These objects are called, like here, see, a circle, it has a fixed shape. Yes, these all objects are called regular objects. So another object is like if the objects do not have a fixed shape. Yeah, it doesn't have a fixed shape. Like for example, a piece of stone. See, it has no fixed shape actually. Which one is its length, breadth, height, diameter? Which one shall we say? Yes, it's an irregular object. Otherwise, we have more like a leaf. See, it's also an irregular object. You can check here, like it doesn't have a fixed geometrical shape. Yes, so it's also an irregular object. Then after, like here, a piece of paper, torn piece of paper. See, it's also an irregular object. Like if it has a fixed shape, it's the regular object. And if it has no fixed shape, then this is called irregular object. Now, let's move to calculation. You can just check in the slide some of the pictures as well of irregular objects. Like here, a leaf, a piece of glass, or a piece of stone. All these are irregular objects. Now we move on to the calculation of surface area of regular objects. Now you just see here, area of measurement, under measurement of area of different regular objects. We are going to measure the area of different regular objects, the surface area of regular objects. Now you can just check here the area of rectangle. How do we measure the area of a rectangle? Area of a rectangle. See, like this is a rectangle. Yeah, you can check here. This is a rectangle. I just paste the rectangle over here. Now, to calculate the area of the rectangle, we should know the formula to calculate the area of the rectangle is length of the rectangle times its breadth. Breadth of the rectangle. Now, how much is its length if we measure? We can just get a scale. You remember previous measuring rules also you remember. If you measure here, keeping it straight over here on the surface, if we measure, it seems like it's exactly 30 centimeters. Yes, it's 30 centimeters. Now, suppose length, it's 30 centimeter. And now what's about the breadth? Let's check. To measure its breadth, it's 21 centimeter. Okay, breadth is 21 centimeter. Now you have to multiply it. Yes, 30 centimeter into 21. 0, 3 ones are 3, 3 twos are 6 centimeter square. Therefore, the area of this rectangle is 630 centimeter square. Similarly, we can measure the length, the area of a square as well. You can just check in the slide. Area of a square. The area of a square we can measure by using the formula area of a square. By using the formula L square, like here. This is a square. I will just do it, repeat the same process. We all know the formula to calculate area of a square is L square, because a square has the length and breadth of same its sides are equal. Yes, area of a square A is equals to length square. So what is its length then? See, let's measure its length. Its length is here. Remember the rules. 21. Yes, 21 is its length. 21 centimeter is its length. Yeah. Now when you take here 21 square, how much is 21 square? You multiply it. Yes, 21 into 21. How much do you get? Yes, that is the answer. Right now I'm going to move little more in circle. We have two more now. Let's get completed of this also, like a circle. Then after we have the area of a circle. Similarly, the third one, area of a circle. How do we measure the area of a circle? Here we have a circle. You can just check in this slide as well. Here, area of a circle. Here, you can just check in the slide as well. The diameter is 14 centimeter, but its radius is 7 centimeter of the circle given over there. Yes, so you can just check, like, area of a circle is A is equals to pi r square, where the value of pi is 22 by 7. Okay, value of pi is 22 by 7. Now, if we have to measure here the radius, while measuring the radius, see, we can just skip it here. It's exactly 14 centimeters here, 14 centimeters. Yeah, so area is pi r square. Pi's value is 22 by 7 into its r square, 14 centimeter square. So when you multiply it, you get the exact answer of the area of circle. So another one more, I'll just show you in the slide. You can please check in the slide, area of a sphere. To calculate the area of the sphere, this is the formula. See, area of a sphere is 4 pi r square. Now, how do we calculate the diameter of the sphere? In previous class, while measuring the diameter of the sphere, we have practically done that. Yes, so here the diameter is 14 centimeter and the radius is being given as 7 centimeters. So the formula is here, area of a sphere, 4 pi r square, and then after, see, just check out the calculation, it's 616 centimeters square as the answer. So that's all related to measurement of area. Yes, I hope you all are very clear doing all these calculations. You practice more, like few problems are there. Please have a click of these problems. You can solve these problems, yeah, in your free time. These few works, if you practice, then you'll be much more confident in solving numericals as well and finding area of different set objects. That's all related to the topics separated for today: measurement of length, measurement of mass, time, and area. So in another class, we'll be doing about measurement of irregular object, like of a leaf. Yeah, and we'll be measuring its area, and also we'll learn about volume and measurement of volume of regular objects and irregular objects. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you. Have a nice day. Thank you so much.